it's actually not as dramatic as what some of the articles try to do to get you engaged and buying into their news. Hey guys, Fitness Science here. Thank you so much for watching. This is the final part of the video series on heart health, cancer, and what's the other thing? Oh yeah, red meat. Now, these are the general recommendations or the conclusions that we can draw from all of the science and the research about red meat, cancer, and heart disease. My overall recommendations to avoid heart disease and cancer would be as follows. Eating a healthy diet with plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables to sustain both a healthy body fat and a healthy muscle mass level. Eating enough protein to support your muscle mass level as well as your training requirements, and I've done a video about how much protein you need here, so go check that out if you're interested. Eating as many fresh fruits and vegetables as you can within your calorie goal, and these will increase your vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, and antioxidants, which all reduce your risk of heart disease and cancer. These also have the added benefit of increasing your fiber intake, which is also very important, making sure that you get enough fiber in your diet per day. Keeping your saturated fatty acid intake to under 10% of your total calories per day. And if you're worried about losing calories because you may be in a bulk, then think about substituting some of these saturated fatty acids for other types of fats like polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fatty acids, which in the literature have been shown when these are substituted in for saturated fatty acids, then we actually get a big reduction in heart disease risk, and you actually are healthier as a result because you're not getting as much LDL depositing that fat into your arteries over your lifespan. And this is not going to kill you in 1 or 2 years. It will take time, but over time you want to make sure that we're not getting that plaque development in our arteries. And one way of doing this is by keeping our saturated fatty acids under 10% and staying away from trans fats. Trans fats are absolutely disgusting for our health. They are the worst thing that we can take in terms of plaque development because the specific chemical structure of trans fats is such that it has a little kink in it, and that is very, very, very reactive and inflammatory for our arteries and our blood vessels, and will lead to the deposition of plaque very quickly. And trans fats are so bad that the US government has outlawed them and banned them since 2019 just because they are so dangerous for our health. So what are some of the things you can replace your saturated fatty acids for? Well, things like butters, olive oils, nut butters, nuts themselves, healthy fish, fish oils, avocados, and eggs are just some examples of things that you can substitute your saturated fatty acids for in terms of healthier fat. In terms of cancer risk and red meat, it's not a huge concern. So when you see the news articles that are being very clickbaity and saying that red meat causes cancer, there's only about a 17 to 18% increase in risk when you eat over 100 grams of red meat or 50 grams of processed meat per day. But the thing is, that's a relative risk. So the relative risk in the US population is 0.045%. Now that's 45 people per 100,000 are expected to be diagnosed with colon cancer each year in the US, and a relative risk of 17 to 18% is an extra 8 people per 100,000. So an extra 8 people per 100,000 is not a huge concern, especially and even more so when you consider that the US population doesn't eat over the recommended on average amount of red meat per week of 500 grams. They're eating about 490, so within range. So it's not a huge concern. So when you see the news articles that say red meat causes cancer, probably not a huge concern, because now you can say, well, that's a relative risk and the baseline risk is already quite low. So the relative risk is just going to be slightly higher, but 8 out of 100,000 is very, very low anyway. Basically, not too much to worry about cancer and red meat consumption. If you are eating over the recommended amount though, it may be an idea, especially for the saturated fatty acid component in the heart disease side of things, to reduce this. And it would be good, like I said previously, to substitute some of these saturated fatty acids per week with your MUFAs and your PUFAs. And the overall conclusion for the final bit of this entire video series, thank you so much for watching. The final conclusion is, as long as you're eating a healthy diet and you're getting all your nutrients and you're not going over the recommended red meat consumption and your healthy body fat and a healthy weight, then there's not much to worry about, and it's just carry on as normal. So this is Fitness Science, which is all about keeping you healthy and safe in the fitness industry, but also providing you the education when you see these clickbait articles to say, well, Now I actually know what the science says, and it's actually not as dramatic as what some of the articles try to do to get you engaged and buying into their news. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate all your support. If you liked this series, just leave a comment down below, and any more ideas for series, I'm more than happy to look into for you. I'm really thankful so much for all the support. I really appreciate all of you guys. Any ideas, just let me know. And thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.